And it's wonderful to just be me.
Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be researching the personality patterns of CYNTHIA ERIVO. Really curious what personality patterns pop up.
Everyone saw her come into the room, and because I'm me and stubborn, I refused to stop singing. Because in my head I was like, we are not stopping this song, people. We're going to sing this song. We're going to do this song and make everybody proud, okay? We're going to impress.
A lot of extroverted quotes in there. Not just I like how to be social, but I like told everyone, guys, we're going to do this, we're going to sing, we're going to perform, and we're going to impress them. You know, that ability to be outside aware and also communicate to people that, hey guys, this is what we need to do. And it's not like an uncomfortable thing to engage with that outer world and to tell the outside world, this is something we all need to like extrovert together on.
I don't think I've bombed an audition yet. Have I? I don't think so. And I'm really not lying. I genuinely don't think I have yet.
I don't think I've bombed an audition. I really don't. Like awareness of her, ability in some way in the outside with what other people expect, but also being able to understand that she can deliver that. I'm not saying that's always a personality type thing, but it is like this extroverted awareness that there's an expectation outside and she understands where she sits with that too.
Ooh, nice. So perhaps these could be clues pointing in the direction of her not being an extroverted judging function inferior.
Probably not an IP, definitely, yeah. I think if we were thinking she was ISFP or INFP, probably definitely not.
And the sun bursts out through the clouds. It's like orange and reds and yellows blaring at my face, and my face looks amber.
The way she was talking about that sunset or the experience with the light and the way she was describing it, and it just was so real and immersive and descriptive in some ways of what that moment was like.
That is not CGI, it's not lighting, that's the actual sun on my face. And then I look to the right and there's a double rainbow, a real double rainbow.
Does seem to be clues for extrovert sensing somewhere in the way that she is taking in the experience. It's not personal and selective, it's more just this big experience, this immersive experience that you move through. And
yeah, extroverted sensing is more like let's soak in all of the experiences, and it doesn't have to squeeze the juice out of every little thing and replay it over and over. It's like, well, let's just keep moving through the next one and experiencing what that might bring in.
I always try and take it step by step. If I was to think about the end result, the end goal, I would never get there. I really have to do it like bit by bit. I need to come at it from an angle of just, I'll do show one. That is what I need to do today. And when we finish that, we'll think about the next show. And then within the show, you think, well, I've got to get through this. And the next thing happens, and the next thing happens until you find yourself at the end. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would get freaked out about
thinking about the end goal too far.
Yeah, I have to sort of just think about the result and take it bit by bit, reminding herself to just be present. I just have to get through this. We'll just do one show at a time, and then we'll just like move through the whole thing.
And I don't think that she said she had to remind herself. I think she just said, if I think that far ahead, I'll never get through it. So it's not that she had to remind herself. She's just saying that when she does that, she realizes that it's not good. Like,
if anything, she's almost going, if I did it like this, that wouldn't work. So I have to do it like this. This is the way it works.
Yeah.
I feel like the words in the story and the truth of the story are the only thing you really need to get to that place. I have also an amazing cast of people who are dedicated to telling that truth on stage.
I think it's pretty confirmed that her outside awareness is definitely high. Like it really was showing up there a lot. She would bring in that personal perspective, but it always also kept recognizing the outside need, the outside result, the outside impact, the team around you that helped make that happen.
I want them, and the cast wants them, and John wants them to feel like.
I think she even had this really cool example where it was like, I don't really want to just make it about me and my story, but I feel like if I listen, if, we're all working together as a team, it'll help everyone.
I never think of my story. I feel like what I'm there to do on stage is to help everybody else who's around me tell their story as well. And in doing that, it aids me to tell the story I need to tell for myself as well.
I wanted it to be like this, or I wanted them to feel this, or I feel like it impacts them like this. So this is how I wanted to help that happen. And
feel like the show offers a little bit of healing. I felt like it was my duty to do that on stage in whatever way I could.
She does really talk a lot about it from like an extroverted thinking way. She is identifying a lot of outside needs. There's a lot of like, these are the goals. This was my goal. This was their goal. There's a goal for the audience that we need to make. And even at the end when she was talking about it, she was like,
it really breaks my heart. I'm so sorry. Sometimes you feel helpless and you don't know what else to do. You don't know how to help. When you are in that place, all you can do is laugh just a little bit harder so that your hope might spread to someone else and your love might spread to someone else. And eventually, I believe that's where we'll get to, a place of understanding, peace and love.
Love is something that I think is really important. But at the end, she's even like, that's also a goal. Like if we all aim to go towards that we'll get there.
And I think if we're all aiming for that, we'll get there.
There's a lot of like, these are goals that we all are aware of.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see where the extroverted thinking is in the stack, because I'm also seeing those clues. It does seem like she is extrovert thinking, but if so, that's such a cool example of how she is talking about these results or these impacts outside, but you can see her own personal care and heart behind it. You can see how she is thinking about people and she's thinking about how they're feeling.
It's really a lot of like, I feel that I care for this outside thing.
And so this is how I want to work on helping that.
And if I care about this thing that I think needs to be solved, or if I have an intention for this, then there are solutions that make sense to execute that.
Particularly last night was dedicated to every single person in that audience who was feeling down, whose heart was heavy, whose mind was full. I don't know if it was relief or space or...
Her introverted feeling, it seems quite nuanced. It's not like she just shows like little moments of it. She's showing like textures of it here, sharing it in the Kelly Clarkson video. It's not like she just talks about the uncertainty of her feelings, but she talks about also the feeling of how it brings for her when she wants to bring, like, you know, help people or think about people.
I was also noticing like it doesn't quite seem at the moment like she's introverted feeling inferior.
No.
Oh, are you outside in
I'm
90
outside,
degree
I'm outside,
heat?
yeah.
And
Well, the full marathon is 26 miles and you do a recovery run, a speed run, a technique, and then you have your recovery run, which for me is 6 miles. So yeah.
This is just what it is. I do this. There's this groundedness.
you don't listen to music while you're in the gym or while you're running in order to better listen to your body.
Yeah. I think because what we don't realize is that your body tells you whatever it needs if you're listening hard enough. Don't get me wrong, if there are days where I thought I was going to do a long run and my body went, no, you're not, your legs hurt, go home. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to go home because if I push against what my body is telling me to.
How did that happen where we talked about
great.
her type and then some of these types of quotes just like pop out? It's like...
So I just have to listen harder and I can't concentrate with music. I end up running to the beat and really I need to run to whatever rhythm is necessary so I can pick up the pace at my own pace or drop the pace or pull back or all of those things because I feel like running is once you learn to do it properly, it really does take technique to make sure you don't hurt yourself or so you can breathe properly.
Interesting.
The extroverted thinking is really interesting too. It's so obvious.
But what is she putting systems on?
As for the gym, that's probably I rarely hear I don't want to do it because you get adrenaline and serotonin and all that stuff. So you end up working out probably harder than I should do. My vocal teacher tells me off for it, but never mind.
Well,
where she puts the system, her extroverted thinking system, is in that I need to remind myself not to get too caught up in the energy and the wave of where the outside takes me, because it's so easy for her to almost like listen to the music and then just kind of like feel the energy and then go on that, ride that wave of the energy. Whereas if it's extroverted thinking higher, the systems that they're implementing are more on other problems. Like, I've learned that I need to have a system for how I talk to people. Or I tend to sometimes need to have a system for reminding myself not to jump ahead into solving people's stuff too quickly.
That's something I think is so cool about extroverted sensing types. When it's not just presence, being in the here and now. It's like really just being aware of how you hit against the outside world and what is actually happening now. Like the way that they describe it and talk about that sounds so exciting in some ways, like just like interfacing with reality, like like just be, you know. It's just like I have no idea what you're talking about, but that sounds so cool.
It's not necessarily grueling. It's just a long process, but it's fun. I kind of look for moments and reasons to do stunts in most of the movies, or Guys and Dolls, which is kind of fun. I like the idea of switching that around. It's just fun. We have a good time, we all look great, and we celebrate each other, and that's kind of one of my favorites.
There's all this like, have a good time, or like just,
Well, it was fun, so.
it happened. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just, I think CYNTHIA is a really cool example too of how ESFPs, that stereotype that they're like just jumping on tables so loud and crazy all the time. It's just, this is a perfect example of how SE can also be so chill, but it's still exploring the outside experience, but it just doesn't always have to look like that loud stereotype. If you look at it from a different perspective, you can still see this presence and her immersing herself in just real life, but in other ways.
Happily do, because it's just different and strange and weird and cool. That's kind of it for now. I want to see what new musicals come about. I want to see if there's anything cool and new and different. And
what's new out there? What's different? Or like sort of like testing the boundaries, which you'll see that exploring the information out there thing with any sort of NE or SE higher.
She just nonstop talks about all of the variety of experiences she wants to actually move towards. Like, oh, I love this, but now I just want to know I just want to see new musicals now. And then I love seeing Ariana do her work, but I want to like do something with Chris Martin one day. There's just, I don't have like a selection of one thing I want to do, like introversion. It's like, I want to do a lot of different things, but I want to do a lot of different things in terms of experience.
Variety of experience. And also overall, just have fun, have a good time. What's interesting is I think I found a clip where it's Renee Rapp and her talking.
Oh, that would be really interesting.
If you wanted to see our full 3-hour discussion on CYNTHIA ERIVO's personality patterns, check out the membership link down below in the description. As well, if you're interested in some expert help figuring out your best fit personality type or understanding the ways your personality patterns show up in real life, check out our MBTI Foundations course linked down below in the description. It's a 3-session teaching program designed to help all levels of MBTI enthusiasts. Thanks so much for watching today. Catch you guys in the next ones.